So I wanted to give a little just heads up to this video. It's something I'm very strong about, and that is the suicide hotline and suicide. If you don't know my story, I lost a wife and a father to suicide, and it's okay to be not okay. I thought, I wanted to find out all the resources out there, so I really dug in with this. And don't get me wrong, I think the suicide hotline's a great resource. It's something that's definitely needed, but I think it is a flawed system some. Because if you're at that point and you're struggling, you're suffering, and you want it to end, you're going to reach out to a stranger before you ever will a family member or friend. I know that. You don't feel like a burden to a stranger as much as, you don't want your family members and friends and close ones to hurt and suffer. And you may already feel that you're a burden. You already may be feeling that you're causing them pain. So reach out. The one thing I do every day on Twitter is I do a reach out video saying, reach out. You're not alone. You don't have to go it alone. And I'm here for you. Feel free to. Depression, anxiety, sobriety, whatever it is you're going through, it does get better, and it's so worth it. We're here for a reason, and you're a gift. And even though you may not believe in yourself, I believe in you. And I believe in this, and I believe in people helping people. And I also know it's okay to be not okay. So if you're having one of those days, and you're watching this video, and you need somebody to talk to, reach out. I'm here for you. I'm Eric. This is what I do. I'm about this wholeheartedly with all my heart, because no one should ever have to feel that they're at that point that no one else is there for them. So if you're there and you're watching this video, reach out. That's my personal cell phone number. You can call or text me. If I don't pick up, I'm at work. I might be busy, but I guarantee you this: if you text me, I will text you right back. If you call me and leave a message, I will call you right back. Because no one should go through this alone, and you don't have to. So I appreciate you watching this video. Subscribe to our channel. Join us for this journey, because it's a long one, and it doesn't happen overnight. But this is something that we can all do together, and this is something that can be special. Because with all the time and energy I invest in this, it's all worth it if it helps just one person out there. Because that's what it's about. And to remember, you don't have to go this alone. So subscribe to our channel, join us on Twitter, join us on Facebook. I have all the links on the About Us area. Come to our website, see what we're all about. And just remember, it's people helping people. And I appreciate you watching this from the bottom of my heart, because this is something that I believe really needs all the awareness in the world. I can relate. And if you want to know what happens to those that you leave behind if you're at that point, I can tell you, because I've lost two. And they weren't distant relatives, they were a wife and a father. And the pain and the hurt doesn't go away. It just gets transferred. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're feeling right now, you don't have to do it alone. And you don't even have to share it with them, you can share it with me. I'll go along for the ride with you. Because it's all about helping each other. Life isn't easy, but we got each other. It makes it a heck of a lot easier. So I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you get some great information from it. Thanks for watching this, and I really look forward to doing this together with you. Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm with Driven Industries. And today I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with the suicide hotline. I did a video earlier that I ended up calling the hotline. I'm only on the phone with them for about 43 seconds. But it really opened up a lot of people's eyes to this. And especially with the recent suicides of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain, it brings out that, hey, if your friends are out there, if they're struggling, if they're hurting, call this number, and everybody shares it and reposts it and tweets about it, puts it on Facebook, and you see all this awareness brought up about it. Well, one of the funny things, though, is how many of us have ever really called that number? And that's why part of awareness is really diving into and saying, hey, this is what everything's about. Don't get me wrong, Suicide Hotline is a great resource. If you do stay on the phone with them long enough, they can direct you to different websites, different tools and stuff out there. I think that part of it is great, but it's more of an information line. We think of the Suicide Hotline, at least I did and a lot of the people I've talked with, as a line that works similar to 911. Driven Industries, we're a company based around what drives you, and something that drives me is suicide awareness. It's huge because of my dad and because of my wife that I lost to it. And somebody once told me, if it drives you that much, call this number, see what happens, put yourself in their shoes. So I did. And I'm going to expand on that even a little bit more. So, again, paint a picture and think of yourself right there on the edge, the teetering. And not that talk, that self-talk that we do where, oh, I'd be better off dead. And we've all had those conversations in our head. You know, let's call it what it is. Put yourself in the shoes of somebody who's really suffering. You're in a very dark, lonely place. You're not talking to any friends or family. You've shut down with them completely because friends and family are very difficult to talk to. I know this from personal experience. And one of the reasons I feel it's so hard to talk to them is because you don't want to be judged. You know you're in pain and you don't want to transfer any of that pain or suffering to them. So a lot of times it's easier to reach out to a stranger. And if you call 911 in the case of an emergency, which I think if you're teetering on, you know, jumping off a bridge or taking her own life, I mean, that counts to me as an emergency. That counts to me as like a 911 call. If you call 911, first thing it picks up is 911, you know, how can I assist you? It's a live person right away communicating with you. I figured the same would be with the suicide hotline. And amazingly, that wasn't the case. This is what happens when you call the suicide hotline. So the number for the suicide hotline is 1-800-273-8255. I want to expand off my other little video and go into a little bit more detail. So we're going to stay on the phone with them a little bit longer.
One moment. You have reached the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, also servicing the Veterans Crisis Line. Para español, oprime el número 2. If you are in emotional distress or suicidal crisis, or are concerned about someone who might be, we're here to help. Please remain on the line while we route your call to the nearest crisis center in our network. Attention! If you are a U.S. military veteran or current service member, or are calling about one, please press 1 now to speak with the Veterans Crisis Line.
I'm sorry, I dialed the wrong number. Sorry about that. Minute and 5 seconds for somebody to pick up. And calling this number, it reminds me so much more of calling a resource line than anything else and actually being in that moment, because a minute and 5 seconds is way too long. I think anybody watching this can totally agree that if you haven't seen this before, this has to really open up your eyes to, this is the number that you're sharing. If your friend's suffering or they're in pain right now and they're right at the edge and they decide to call this number, I don't know how many will make it through to even get to that minute and 5 seconds. I know my personal experience of my father and my wife, I know they want enough. And it's so much more important to have this treated as an emergency than as a dial through to a resource in a sense. The time that it takes is instantaneous. Somebody can change a thought just like that. Just like that, our thoughts can change. So if I had the strength to dial this number, my thought changes and can go right back to where it was. I hang up the phone and I continue with what I was originally set out to do. This is something that has to be changed. I feel that this has to be, you know, when I call to action on this is we have to change this into like a 911 call. But it's based on, you know, 911, you're calling for emergencies, you're calling for a break-in, you're calling for a robbery, you're calling for a homicide. This has to be a 911 call in a sense that you're calling because you are right there. And, you know, after that, it directs you off to different resources if you're just calling for resources or you're calling for information, which is fine. But it has to be treated that the person on the other end of the phone is right at that point. The response that I've gotten, if you follow us on Twitter, you'll notice I do a video myself where I reach out daily to anybody. Hey, if you're hurting, reach out to me. It's easier to talk to a stranger than a friend. And I get a ton of people that reach out to me that are suffering through depression, anxiety, and they need help. There's definitely a need for this. I mean, look at what's happening right now. Statistics show that the suicide rate is growing every year. This is a negative trend. I mean, it's growing. It's not shrinking, which means there's a lot more that we have to be able to do right now to actually combat this. $10 billion a year is spent on suicide-related deaths and injuries and so forth. That's a lot of money. I mean, it impacts so many different ways. 22 vets a day take their lives. I mean, if you have a friend that's a veteran and they called this number, this is what they get. They deserve better than that. Anybody who's hurting deserves better than that. And we can change that. How do we change it? Well, we make awareness about it, and with the awareness, it starts to grow a movement, and with that movement grows the change. And that's what I'm all about. That's part of what our company's all about, is making a change in this and saving lives. Because I feel so much more can be done. And together we can do that. I mean, if you're hurting and you're watching this video, reach out to me. Hit me up on Twitter, hit us up on Facebook. I'm not the only one always on, and so the greatest part is I have a support network around me of some very great friends that are supporting this cause. They're sometimes on, they'll reach back out to you. I mean, it's about people helping people, because you never know who's suffering silently. You never know what your best friend's going through. You never know what a family member's going through. When they start to shut down and you see those signs, asking them how they're doing sometimes isn't enough. Because how many times have we asked somebody, how are you doing? And they respond with, I'm fine. What kind of a response is that? What kind of a response is fine? You and I both know that fine is not an answer. There's more going on. But sometimes it's so hard and so difficult in what they're going through, because mental illness is a disease. It's kind of like cancer, diabetes, addiction. You can't see it, but it's there. And a lot of times, them talking to a stranger, it lets it flow out so much easier. There's no judgment. They don't have to worry about being judged. They don't have to worry about hurting. They don't have to worry about hurting a close friend or burdening them. We can change this together. And this is what Driven by a Cause is all about, is changing this to a point that it's a resource that helps save lives. It helps get involved with any of those that are suffering. So I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope this has really opened up your mind. I hope you really think next time, hey, before I share these hotlines, let me find out what they're all about. Let me share this video even of some guy out there right now in the company that will reach back out if you're suffering. That's what it's about. I'm more than happy to take a phone call from anybody suffering, instead of knowing that they're on hold for 1 minute and 5 seconds. So I thank you for watching this. I hope that this has really expanded your mind. If this is something you believe in, please reach out to me. Let's change this together. It's something that we can definitely do. It's something that our company's all about. And together we can make this change, and we can do this. So I'm Eric. I'm with Driven Industries. I appreciate you again watching this. It's something very dear to my heart. And let me ask you this. What drives you?